So good evening. My name is John Marley, and I have the privilege tonight to address you on behalf of the scholarship recipients here at Boston College Law School. This is not something that I do lightly, because what I say here tonight encompasses the experiences of not only our current students, but also potential future students who aspire to attain a Boston College Law School education, who may be afraid that they can't afford it. So I've been asked tonight to talk a little bit about who I am and what my scholarship has meant to me. But at the end, I want to take a moment to recognize who you all as donors are to students like me. And something you hear quite a bit is opportunity. So first and foremost, my scholarship has meant access. Access to higher education. Access to the opportunity to advance not only myself, but my family and my community. And were it not for the generous donation of James Carey on behalf of his parents, Eugene and Mary, the opportunities that I've had here at Boston College Law School would not have been available. I graduated from an elite university and got a great job straight out of school, just like you're supposed to do. But unlike many of my graduating class, I gave every extra cent I had to support my family. I've been financially independent since I was 17 years old. And that's because when I was young, my family looked to me and said, it's your job to use the talents that God gave you to uplift all of us. Because my family was one of the many who never recovered from the recession. While the banks were being bailed out, millions of Americans were left abandoned and left with the fallout. And if it wasn't for stories like yours, donations like yours, my story would have ended there, with simply not being able to give enough. I needed to chart a new course. And stories like mine, unfortunately, are not uncommon. And so, what I want to say here tonight is not just about me, but many of those who share similar stories. But a Boston College Law School is not just a financial opportunity. Boston College Law School, to me, in the short time that I've been here, has been a home. It's been a family. It's been an opportunity to enter this esteemed profession. It has been an opportunity to view the ideals and characteristics of what is characterized as Boston College Law School education, and to attempt to aspire to live up to those ideals. In my short time here, I had the opportunity to compete in and eventually win Boston College Law School's negotiation competition and go on to represent the school against other law schools. I've had the opportunity to serve those who needed legal aid but simply couldn't afford it. And I've had the opportunity to involve myself with Boston College Law School's Black Law Students Association and the greater Black legal community here in Boston. However, the opportunity that I hold most dear has been the opportunity to learn the values that underlie a Boston College Law School education. These values that permeate deeply throughout its classrooms, from its professors, from its alumni, its donors, and the greater Boston College Law School family that has embraced all of us as students. It has been the opportunity to learn the value and privilege of a legal education, and the obligation to take that education and go forth and do good in the world. It has been the opportunity to learn to analyze the law deeply in both substance and in equity. Now, the values that I've studied here and learned and seen are reflected day in and day out by Boston College's alumni and its donors. Those who seek to create opportunities where there were no opportunities before. When I came to Boston College Law School, Boston College Law School's alumni embraced me. They didn't even know me. And they mentored me. They welcomed me, and they prepared me to be successful not only in my first year here at Boston College Law School, but also in my career going forward. And it's thanks largely to their efforts that I'll be spending this first summer at Morgan Lewis here in Boston. And I see this as the opportunity to take the first step towards a career where I can carry Boston College Law School's values into the big law space, to have the ability to pay forward everything I have been so fortunate to receive. And hopefully one day to emulate the actions and generosity of the alumni who made it all possible. So what I want to say about all of you all now as donors is nothing that I don't think anybody in this room already knows. You all already donate, and I'm made to understand it's not a small sum of money, so thank you for that. And I'm sure you all already know the importance of your donations. But what I want to take a moment here tonight to do is to recognize what you do, because what you do is important, and it deserves to be recognized here, now, and every single day. What you do is you help people you don't know, people who have no relation to you, and whose only promise to you is to attend Boston College Law School. You expect nothing in return. And you do this not once, but you do it over and over again. And while I may not know all of you personally, or your particular motivations for giving, I imagine you have all recognized the power and privilege that comes with wealth and the ability to do good with it in the world. You all have recognized that wealth has kept a small group in power generation after generation and denied opportunities to those outside the class simply because they couldn't afford it. And this recognition has not been a generic dinner room recognition, this is something we should do. You've all recognized this and taken it on as a personal challenge. You have all resolved to use the resources at your disposal to solve it. You all understand that education is the key to unlocking the American dream. Higher education leads to higher income, which leads to the uplifting of not only that student who's receiving your donations, but also their family and their entire community. You have realized that when the cost of entry to education is prohibitive, the result is systemic, generational economic shackling of entire communities. You've realized that the cost of education has skyrocketed. A part-time job is not going to cut it for a student anymore. Crippling debt has become the hallmark of illegal education. And that debt forces many who would like to choose to go and work in the public sector to pursue potentially more lucrative work because they simply couldn't afford it. And vital work, vital legal work that needs to be done is left to others. Importantly, you've recognized the massive loss our society would face if the potential, if the ideas, if the ability to give back of millions of students was denied to the entire world simply because they couldn't afford a ticket in the door. You have all recognized and you all ensure that it is merit and not wealth, merit and not privilege, merit and not birth should determine who should populate the halls of Boston College Law School. You've seen and recognized all of these problems and resolved to fix them. You're about inclusion and not exclusion. You've been extremely generous with your time, your resources, and yourselves. And simply put, to students like me, the recipients of these scholarships, you're heroes. And for that, you have our heartfelt thanks. Thank you to the Carey family for my scholarship. Thank you to all of you for the donations that you've given. Thank you for your time here tonight. Thank you all so much. And I hope that you will all continue to do this amazing work that you do. Thank you very much.